All right, let's talk about something that probably gives a lot of people a little bit of anxiety. The company cloud bill. You see that number creeping up month after month, but what does it really mean? Today, we're going to demystify that number and look at a framework that can turn that confusing bill into a powerful story about your business. I mean, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? When you see that rising number, is it a five-alarm fire, a sign that you're just throwing money away on waste and inefficiency? Or is it time to pop the champagne because your business is absolutely booming? The wild part is, the number itself, it tells you absolutely nothing. Without context, it's just noise. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Think of it like a two-sided coin. On one hand, hey, maybe that bill's going up because you're crushing it. More users, more engagement, more sales. That's fantastic news, right? But on the other hand, it could be a leaky faucet, just dripping money away with hidden waste and bloated services. And the scary part, on a spreadsheet, they look exactly the same. Okay, so how do we fix this? How do we find that missing context? We need a way to build a bridge, to connect the dots between the money going out and the value coming in. We need a system that links every single dollar of cloud spend to a real business outcome. And that system is called unit economics. This is the big idea for today. Seriously, think of it like a universal translator for your business. It takes all that tech speak, gigabytes, CPU cycles, API calls, all that stuff, and it translates it into the language everyone actually understands. Cost per customer, margin per sale, you name it. It's the bridge. Yeah, this quote here just nails it. Without this kind of context, you're literally flying blind. You might end up slashing the budget on a feature that's actually driving all your growth. Or, even worse, you might ignore a ballooning cost because you figure, that's just the cost of doing business. Unit economics gives you the vision to see the difference and spend your money smart.
Okay, so the idea sounds great, right? But how do you actually do it? How do you make it practical? Well, it all starts with tracking the right things. And in the world of unit economics, there are really two main buckets of metrics you need to know about.
So, on one side, you've got your resource efficiency metrics. This is the nitty-gritty tech stuff. Think, how much are we paying for every gigabyte? Or are our servers actually busy? This is super important for your engineering folks. It's about making sure the engine is tuned up. But then, on the other side, you have the business unit metrics. This is the big picture, the why. What's our cost per customer? Are we actually making money on each sale? This tells you if the car is even going in the right direction. And you've got to have both, no question.
Now, I've got to be real with you. This isn't something you just turn on overnight. You don't just flip a switch and boom, perfect unit economics. It's a journey. It's about organizational maturity. But the good news is, it's a path others have walked. And there's a pretty clear roadmap to follow.
We call it the crawl, walk, run approach. It's a super simple concept, right? You start with the absolute basics and you build up your sophistication and, most importantly, trust in the data as you go. So let's break down what each stage really looks like.
First up, crawl. This is you taking your first baby steps. Maybe you've got one team, just one forward-thinking team that starts tracking something basic, like how much their databases cost. And that's awesome. It's a start. But the data's kind of stuck in its own little world. Trying to connect it to finance or product data, it feels impossible. But hey, the seed's been planted.
Okay, now we're walking. The momentum is picking up. Other teams are starting to get on board, and they're creating their own metrics that matter to them. Suddenly, you're hearing people talk about things like cost per daily active user or cost per new subscription. And as more people see how useful this is, that trust in the data starts to build across the company. And then you run. This is the promised land. Unit economics is just how you do business now. It's in your company's DNA. And it's not about looking backward anymore. It's about looking forward. Teams are using these numbers to plan new features before they even start building. The whole organization is just smarter. But here is the absolute most critical piece of this whole thing. This is not a finance problem. It's not something you can just hand off to some FinOps team and forget about. If you really want to get to that run stage, it has to be a full-on cultural shift. Everyone needs to feel like they have some skin in the game.
Think about it from an engineer's point of view. Suddenly, their job isn't just make it work, it's make it work efficiently. They can literally see, hey, if I use this database instead of that one, I can cut our cost per transaction in half. That is huge. They're not just writing code anymore. They're directly impacting the business.
And your product owners? Well, they become the glue that holds all of this together. They're the ones asking the tough questions like, what do our customers actually value? And then helping the team figure out how to measure that. They make sure the engineers aren't just making things cheap, but making the right things cheap. And for the leaders, man, this is like a superpower. No more guessing games, no more making huge multi-million-dollar bets based on a gut feeling and a messy spreadsheet. They have real data to answer the big questions. Which products is our cash cow? Where should we invest our R&D money next? It's like having a GPS for your entire business.
So, you do all this work. You go from crawling to running. You change the culture. What for? Why go through all the trouble? What's the big payoff here?
Well, it all comes down to one word: clarity. You finally see the whole picture. You can spot that waste that's been hiding in plain sight and plug the leaks. You get everyone rowing in the same direction, and you finally know the answer to that question we asked at the very beginning. You know with total confidence when a rising cloud bill is actually great news.
So I'll leave you with this one question. Think about your own cloud bill. Right now, what story is it really telling you? Is it a good one? Or is it maybe one you'd rather not read? The cool thing is, with unit economics, you don't have to guess anymore. You can actually find out.